What's going on, everyone? Welcome to YouTube Live for Fitzy Friday. I'm Sean Fitzgerald. I'm one of the personal trainers here at the Upper Valley Aquatic Center, and thanks for tagging along and joining us on it. So like always, like, subscribe, send out, try to get as much knowledge out there as we can, and share as much information as we can. So what do we do here on Friday? So right now we're going to basically just talk about some of the fitness myths that are going on in the industry today. So we can talk about basically anything that ranges from crazy diets, scams, powders, to certain rep schemes or certain lifts or anything like that, to does this work? Does this work? Does that not work? So we can go through Q&As. We can hit up basically anything that you guys got questions for, or you want a little bit more information on, that we can dig a little deeper and figure out what you're interested in for knowing, right? So today since it's kind of our first little go around, so I kind of brought one in today, and it's basically one that we get mostly about is the pain after workout. Am I supposed to feel the pain? Should I have pain? If I don't have pain, is that good or bad? So questions like that we get kind of, is pain. So the first thing I kind of like to kind of ask about is it actual pain, or is it actual, oh, hey, I never do a squat and my butt or hamstrings kind of hurt because I just did 30 of them. So there's a little difference between pain and my body actually recognizing a change. So that's kind of the first question that we kind of want to maybe dive into and figure out what it is you're actually feeling. So we'll kind of dig into it. We got some notes, we got some stuff to kind of back us up, and kind of just go over and see what this is all about. So COVID, everyone kind of couldn't go to the gym. Everyone had to work out at home. If they could work at home, trying to get creative and things like that. And then restrictions finally release. We get back into the gym. You're able to actually start lifting more, lifting heavier, be able to do more stuff than just use a resistance band or like a water jug, right? So looking good, you want to look good, or on the other end of the spectrum, you might have not worked out as much as you want. You just sat on the couch, watched some Netflix a little bit too much, kind of gained that so-called COVID-19, instead of your freshman 15, but, either way. So now you're back in the gym, you want to lose it, and, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to tackle this? Like right now we're still in the middle of the summer, big trend, hot guy, hot girl summer. Everyone's kind of in on that. But what do I do when you come into the gym, right? So you go through a workout. Am I working out for 20, 30, an hour, 2 hours? What are we really doing, right? So you want to change, right? New Year resolution in the middle of the summer. Why not, right? That happens. That's acceptable. You can change whenever you want, right? So you start lifting, you start working out, you start doing any type of movement that you're not so-called used to, and next day you wake up, body hurts, right? I got pain. All right, well, what is the pain, right? Is it actually pain, or is it a soreness, right? So we got to think, you're going to go from 0 to 60, and you don't think you were going to feel anything. It's kind of like starting up a car in the wintertime. You got ice on the windshield, and you're just going to walk outside, drive with ice on your windshield? Probably not. You're going to have to warm up, let it thaw a little bit, then you can get in, then you can drive safe, things like that. So the body kind of works the same way. It's still a machine. So you can't just go 1, 2, 3, however long you weren't doing anything, and then jump right back into, a program and, just tell your body, all right, we need to lift this, we need to do this, and not expect something to happen, right? So let's figure out if it's pain or if it's a soreness. So pain probably would be association with, you should already know how your body reacts. right? We're not medical doctors, so if it's a pain that keeps persisting, doesn't ever get better, you're going to want to see your doctor, right? That's just how it's going to have to happen. Like, we're not here to do x-rays, MRIs, anything like that, so pain never goes away. Go seek a medical doctor, get it looked at, get it thoroughly looked at, and go from there, right? Or are we just talking about some soreness, right? Like I said, you're doing squats, you haven't done squats in a while. You're going to do bench presses that you haven't done those movements in a while, right? You're probably going to be sore. Chest, your glutes, your butt, your hamstring, your quads, triceps, all the muscles that you're going to use again, right? So soreness is common, right? You will actually get soreness if, say, you haven't painted in a while and you go and paint 2 rooms one weekend, right? You're probably going to feel that a couple days later also. So any activity that you're not used to and that you expose the body to, you will get a soreness. That's just how the body works, right? So we want to take a look at DOMS, right? What is DOMS? Everyone's kind of heard the word. Some people might not know about it, perfectly okay. So DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, right? So we take a look at that and it's like, all right, you did a leg day, I'm going to be sore the next day a little bit, because I haven't moved that way. The day after, 2 days out, feel a little better, foam roll, stretch, do a couple more leg exercises, kind of like get everything moving again. And then the pain, or, your so-called pain, your soreness will start to get smaller, and then you won't have any. So that's kind of like the basis of, like what a muscle soreness might be. For your DOMS, you're going to have it if you haven't worked out. It's so-called however many months, right? So that would be the first thing I'd recommend is know your body from what soreness is and what actual pain is. You'll figure out very quickly there is a very big distinction for it, and that will make your decision so much easier about what you need to do. So let's talk about like pain. Are we supposed to work out so we have the pain the next day? Are we supposed to work out so we're so sore that we can't move the next day? I say no, right? There's going to be a lot of people that might be like, oh, well, I want to feel that. And, the soreness is not a good indicator of a good workout. It just isn't, because your body is going to continually adapt. Your body is going to change daily, hourly, Just think about it. You go from not drinking water one day and you drink, say, your 4 Yetis worth, right? Body's going to change drastically in just that one day, right? You're going to be real hydrated, So things change very rapidly in the body, and you're going to put it under stress while working out. And sometimes you're not stressing the body enough, so you might not feel a soreness, but you're making changes. And that's where you need to track your numbers. We all have our charts, we all have our pens and pads, and mark down like what we're repping, how many sets we're doing, what our weight is, and you just you monitor. And tracking is the best way to make sure you're staying where you need to be to make sure you stay healthy, right? So what if we have this soreness, right? When we get these DOMS, all right, you worked hard enough, you got a little bit of soreness, no big deal, right? So how do we want to help maybe get rid of it, or maybe assist in getting, the uncomfortableness, right, down? What's your recovery techniques, right? What are you doing pre-workout, during the workout, post-workout, right? And then what are you doing, if you work out in the morning, well, what are you doing at night? If you work out at night, like what are you doing the next morning? So what are you doing to help your training along? Are you coming in, basically just hitting the weights and leaving, or are you foam rolling? Are you doing any mobility exercises? Are you doing some dynamic or static stretches? Stretches that involve you moving, and other stretches that involve you just they're holding it for a certain amount of time, right? Are you accomplishing that, right? So are you doing that before or after your workout? So those would be questions to kind of ask yourself. Be like, maybe I should add something like that in, right? And then what are we doing? What are we doing after the workout? Are we eating? Are we going home and making sure we're getting all of the nutrients that we need, right? Nutrition's a big part of it. You gotta, it's, the old saying is you ain't gonna get far in an empty tank, so it's the same thing. Your body is still a machine. You need to fuel it up. So are you getting your proteins, carbs, fats, like fruits, like all your macros, right? Like, are you eating? That's going to be your big thing, and one that is very underrated is, are you sleeping, right? If you're interested in building muscle, sleep is very important, got to try to, the goal is a minimum 7 hours is what's recommended. That's what you want to try to shoot for. I know parents, busy lifestyle, same, like it's tough. Kids don't want to go to bed. They keep fighting you, right? So that's the goal, is try to get 7. Like, no one, if you got kids, you ain't really hitting that 9 range. They're coming in at 5:30 a.m. seeing what you're doing and why you're not up, So, but we want to try to get some sleep, right? That's where we are going to be building and repairing our body, is through sleep. And we want to make sure we're getting into that deep sleep too, So take a look at recovery. So, all right, so you worked out, say on Monday morning, right? You got pretty good workout in, you felt good, you go to work, you're probably going to work 8, 9, 10 hours. You come home, you still get a pretty good meal in, right? Just get a decent amount of sleep, you wake up in the morning, probably going to feel a little bit of stiffness. So it's like, are you doing maybe a 5-minute routine when you get out of bed? Just a simple stretch in the shower, right? You can do a lot of different things that kind of help get your body moving and feeling a little better the next day also, so what other types of things are you doing? There's, the big thing out here, the Theraguns, the Hypervolts, all your massage guns, you just kind of run it up and down your body, massage chairs, or, if you got a little one that just wants to walk all over your body, well, it might hurt, but, like you can get creative, and if your partner or spouse is lucky enough to give you a back rub or, help rub your calves if they're feeling sore, like, so a lot of anything might, will work and it will help. So that just kind of helps get some recovery, it feels good at the same time. And, those are types of things that we can take a look at that will help alleviate some of that soreness for the next day. And then eventually, your body's going to start to adapt. You stick with your program for a couple weeks, you're not going to really feel that much. And then when you change, you might hit soreness again. So I'm not saying you will never have soreness. That's not anything that, we'll say, but there are times that you will have it. But what's the soreness really coming from? So are we deadlifting with a rounded back? Probably not a good idea, right? We want to keep that back nice and flat, right? And make sure we're using the proper muscles. So we want to be sore, but not sore for the wrong reasons. We don't want our chest sore because we're bringing flies, down all the way out and opening ourselves up, or, we're putting on too much weight and barely able to move the weight, and there you go, herniated disc, So we want to make sure that the soreness is coming from a proper progression to allow the body to adapt and to respond, to heal itself, and then you come back stronger the next day. So, it's a pretty big, area, and everyone has their own thoughts about pain, soreness, DOMS. Everyone has kind of their own idea. That's what it's all about. Everyone kind of has their own goals and their own mindset, and what works for me might not work for you. What works for you might not work for your partner, your spouse, your lifting buddy, your neighbor, things like that. So it's one thing doesn't always fit everyone. We can get a nice general idea, but it's up to you and how your body is able to respond to what works for you. If you come in and you're just like, their guns just aren't for me. I don't like the feel of it. Like, right, well, that's you. The other person might just call you crazy and be like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. So what again, it's what are you gonna find? What do you want to experiment with that works for what you want, right? So we want to stay around that. So, those are some recovery tools, some simple things that you can really take a look at as to what I can do on my own end. So start with a foam roller, find those points that might bother you, and get them, hit them, work on it, like you literally sit in the living room while the kids climb all over you, hit on the foam roller, or, you're just home watching some TV. You can literally just sit there and stretch and, like, oh, my hip flexors are tight. I can just do a couple hip flexors exercises while I'm watching TV. And, so there's all sorts of different ways you can do things. And, like from, kind of what I do with my little ones is like, if I get on the floor, they're probably going on the floor with me also. And, it's just kind of teaching them some things that like, oh, hey, dad's moving. I can move, they're going to want to play with you. Like, it's sometimes it's nice to kind of pass what on to them, and they'll learn and be able to do it themselves, and so you're kind of starting a nice little trend for everyone to stay nice and healthy, right? So take a look at that. Like, how can you fit that in when you come to the gym? What's your warm up look like? Do you bike for like 5 to 10 minutes? Do you walk on a treadmill? Do you do any type of like a mobility workout to kind of loosen up your upper body, your lower body? Do you get the blood flowing, or do you just hop right into the lifts? Do you do a warm up set? Do you do any cool downs? Do you so take a look at your program. Like if you're committed, be like, all right, I want an hour at the gym. Take a look at your program. Like allow 10 minutes for maybe a mobility, kind of a stretching or something to help with your programming, and 10 minutes, see if it works. If it doesn't, we'll adjust and see what does work. If you think you're doing 4 sets on everything and you're like, what, I'm gonna drop it to 3 and we'll see, and see what it is. Like you want to play around and see what works for you and see how you can be efficient at the time that you have. I'm not saying you come in, you work for an hour, well, you need to spend 30, no, that's not how anything should go. It should be what fits for your lifestyle, that fits your needs, and to get you the goals that you want, right? That's what we're here for. We're here just to assist and to kind of maybe give you some ideas and throw some things out of the box that you might not even thought of, right? So, basically, we'll take a look at that. And then the same thing comes down to, does the pain keep getting worse? Is it moving? So like to a different area. So like, oh, it started out as my calf and now it's running up my knee. It's going into my thigh, or is it going down the other way? It's moving down, so those are things like you just want to monitor, like keep track of your body, like know your limits. And if after a day or two, you're just like, it's not really changing, it's not getting better, it's not getting worse, kind of be a little more, cognizant of it. And then if it keeps, maybe it's like, all right, I'm going to make an appointment, just kind of tell the doc, like, hey, something doesn't feel right. Like, they can get in there for you and, really show you, like, all right, well, maybe we need to take a step back and take a look, So, again, it's nothing that, any of us can really control, but sometimes is you twist the wrong way, you move the wrong way, and you're just like, that didn't feel so good. It's kind of, we just got to be careful on what we want to do. So pain, I'd say after a workout, not a good indicator of a good workout. It's plain and simple. Just because you want to feel pain, that's going to be your own mindset, but it's not a good indicator of a great workout. I'd say a good indicator of a workout is how you feel. Like, do you feel better than when you stepped in the door? Like, that's my kind of goal is that if I'm having a really crappy day, I'm hitting the gym, it makes it better, right? That's a win, right? That's a win for me. I came in, all right, work was all right. Sure, was too stressful, wasn't too bad. I gained 5 pounds on, a deadlift or a bench or, or an overhead, whatever it is. Like, why not? Why not consider that also a good workout, right? So take those small wins, or, you just look at different ways of feeling good about a workout, and not just, oh, I need to feel that soreness in order to know that, like, oh, I did really good in the gym, or like, oh, that trainer's no good because I didn't feel anything the next day. Well, to each their own, but in our opinion, it's not a good indicator of a good workout. We want to make sure that the next day you're able to move, and then think about that. Like, think you come in, kick your butt in the gym, and then you got to go to work the next day, but you can barely move. Well, that's not fun either. Or, say you come in on a Friday, right? Got plans for the weekend, but you can barely move because you just kicked your butt in the gym. Like, so, it's, you gotta, it's a little give take, and kind of understanding that, where my limits are and how I feel. But, hopefully that kind of shed a little bit of light, maybe spread a little bit of knowledge, kind of my, my thoughts, my ideas of what I think about, like a pain or, your soreness, and how you can, really see that sometimes it'll be there, sometimes it won't, what we can do to kind of help maybe get rid of it as quickly as we can, and, kind of give you a say, hey, like, soreness is okay, pain, we gotta, we'll just monitor. But I hope you kind of enjoy this little segment. Basically what we can do is, if you got some cues, you can drop them in the comments, and, we can dive a little deeper into certain areas. If you're interested in something like, hey, like, I only do this exercise, or there, things like that. So we can do a whole, like, kind of interactive piece on this, so we can explore and expand, any way that, you guys are interested. But other than that, each week we'll just come back with, something new that's coming out in the fitness industry, and we'll try to see if we agree with it, we don't agree with it. Is it a myth? Can we debunk it? Can, things like that. So thanks for joining us. Like always, like and subscribe. All right, share as much knowledge as we can here. And if you're ever in the Upper Valley, don't be afraid to stop in and see us all in here, and we'll show you around, and be great seeing anyone. And like always, enjoy your weekend, have fun, be safe, and stay fit, guys. And hopefully, guys learned a couple things. But enjoy. Take care.